Hey everyone, RogueGold here, welcome back to the Division 2. And today the latest Master content has dropped in the Division 2. Tied to the finale for Year 6 Season 3, Burden of Truth, this time we get a new Master mission on Roosevelt Island. Now, if you weren't aware, Master is intended to be difficult content, right? These missions are scaled for 4 players, but matchmaking is enabled. So, I like to put these guides together to try and help you prepare as best as possible, and with it offering rewards like a guaranteed copy of the new exotic on completion and a new hunter mask, which don't worry, we're going to cover, there's a lot of incentive for jumping into this. Now, I've gone in and beaten the mission in both group and solo settings, and in this video, what I want to do is relay all of the information that you need to know, including build recommendations, mechanics, other tips. All of that stuff will be timestamped down below, so feel free to skip to whichever section may be most relevant to you. Only other thing I want to say before we jump in is that if you enjoyed the video and if it does help you out, I would appreciate you clicking that subscribe button if you're not already. We'd love to have you around, and there's plenty more videos like this one on the way. But without further ado, let's get to it. Alright, now to begin, let's talk about builds. Here's the simple fact. Everybody is going to have a different recommendation on what they think is the best thing to take into Master. Personally, I've been using the blue screen exotic LMG a lot in the recent months. You're going to see it in some of the builds here. But again, just know that is not your only option. I know the Chameleon is super popular right now. Protection from elites is always a winner. So that's all to say that I fully encourage you all to go out there, see what's working for other people, try your own ideas, find what fits best for you. If you're going to try and tackle this Master mission solo, this is the build that I used. The standouts here are the blue screen exotic for enemy crowd control. It provides an amazing amount of that. The Exodus exotic gloves from this season as well are really wonderful. They basically get you a get out of jail free card once every 40 seconds. And then the only other thing I want to shout out here is that running the sharpshooter specialization to unlock the tactician drone and pairing that with the microwave coils modifier is a lifesaver. You're going to be igniting so many enemies on the battlefield, and that just means that they're not then spending their time shooting you or repositioning. Oftentimes it leaves them out in the open, ready for you to mow them down. Now, if you foresee yourself running in more of a group setting, this is a modified version of that build that I ran when I wanted to be a damage player on a team. Notably, I've replaced the Exodus gloves with contractors for a bit more damage because there's less heat on me specifically. And then I also decided to incorporate the striker's chest piece with the turmoil knee pads. This allows me to get greater total damage, but also distribute it faster or better because of turmoil's split property. However, if you don't have the turmoils, that is okay. This is again not a mandatory loadout. Feel free to use something that is a bit more similar to the solo version of this, or try your own thing, as always. Now, specifically when you get to the room of the mission that involves the hunter encounter, which we're going to discuss, I swapped to a build like this. I've removed the sharpshooter and drone combo because if you keep that, the hunters are just going to EMP and or hack it. I've swapped out the blue screen for the St. Elmo's for that shock capability and how quickly you can get to it with the rogue momentum rate of fire buff. And then I put on Riot Foam and the Banshee Pulse, which offers really great crowd control without the risk of the hunters hacking those skills. And so yeah, overall this works really well for that one specific encounter of the mission. And yeah, that is a general look at the loadouts that worked for me. But again, there are a ton more out there that are going to be plenty viable as well. For example, a teammate of mine decided to run protection from elites. This was his loadout, if you want to get a look at that. And then aside from the hunter room, again, don't run skills in that fight, but the refactor gear set works very well for keeping people healed up. This is the version that I showed of that build in my master build prep video, so the options are out there. Find what you like. Alright, well let's now move on to talk about the mechanics of the mission, and that's to say, there are not that many. Aside from the hunter encounter and room, which will be its own dedicated section next, last season's mission had sequence inputs, wipe mechanics in the water room, boss shields with EMP charges. About the most mechanic-y thing you will find in this mission is disabling turrets, and most of us know how to do that at this point in the Division 2. So I'm not going to go through and do like a room-by-room breakdown this time, like I did last season. A few things I'll point out though. In this first room here, there will be 3 turrets active instead of the 1 on standard difficulties. All you have to do is follow the yellow wire that is leading from that turret to wherever its generator is located. You then shoot it to destroy. After this room, all of the rest of the turrets that you will find throughout the mission, there are a few. Instead of them having the generators, they all should have the yellow panel weak points that are on the turret itself. And so for those ones, you just need to flank around, shoot those. And then immediately after the room that has the hunter encounter in it, you will reach this section where you need to find a way to open the gate. All you have to do is follow the yellow wires. One of the 4 boxes that they lead to will be interactable, and that then allows you to open the gate and proceed. But yeah, other than those minor details, Master difficulty this season just makes the mission a bit tougher with more enemies, more elite enemies. But really, that just means that having a solid build and taking things slow should lead you to victory. And yeah, I personally think this is a much easier Master mission than last season's was. There is one exception to that though, and that is the hunter encounter, which is something that you're only going to run into on Master difficulty. This fight very much comes out of nowhere. It is in the circular arena where the mortars begin to rain down on you, right? You're fighting in there, you clear out the True Sons, and all of a sudden, the hunters spawn in without warning. It is very abrupt. It caught my team off guard and caused us to wipe. Think we're clear? Oh.
Agent down.
Now, look, this isn't revolutionary, right? It's another hunter fight. We fought them before. There are going to be 4 of them, though, regardless of what group size you have. Again, Master is scaled and intended for 4 players. So, a few different tips that I can offer. As I mentioned earlier in the video, do not run deployable or hackable skills. They will get hacked immediately and then make the fight harder for you and your team. So if you are running those, just be sure to swap loadouts before you enter this combat room. If you choose to try and stay in this arena to fight the hunters, it is going to be a hard time, I guarantee. I personally found success both in solo and group settings by going back out the way you came in through the yellow container. You can then basically aggro and funnel the hunters out that way. And then yeah, once you do, basically just take things very slow, be cautious. As I talked about in the build section, I ran St. Elmo's, Ride Foam, and the Banshee Pulse for maximum crowd control, basically trying to open up as many damage windows to capitalize on as possible. And yeah, you got this. I believe in you. The only other thing to note for this room is that before the hunter fight, while you're still fighting the True Sons, you will have mortars raining down on you, and these things are fast. I don't know if they've increased the time it takes for these mortars to hit the ground compared to normal, but yeah, if you see any red outline on your character, run, get out of the radius. This season's Rogue Momentum modifier definitely helps with that, given that it gives you movement speed, so stay on the move, stay mobile, otherwise those mortars will take you out pretty quickly. Alright, and then the final thing to talk about in this video is regarding the Wolves mask that you may have seen some players earning from this Master mission. There's a lot of confusion here, as it is clearly rewarding it from this hunter fight, but not everybody who is tackling the fight is actually getting it. Big shocker to probably nobody. There is a bug here. Daria from the dev team commented and said it looks like there's an issue where the mask only drops for the player that deals the killing blow to the last hunter. The team is investigating. So what that means right now, at the time I'm making this video, is that if you are going to play this Master mission in a group, only one person may get it, depending on who gets that last kill. If you play the mission solo, it should be a guaranteed drop then, theoretically. I've not been able to test that myself as I first got it from a group clear, but yeah, you can either try grinding for the mask right now, or you could wait for an official fix to this issue. I'm sure they'll push that out and that it will probably arrive sometime in the coming week. But there you have it, my friends. That is your complete guide for Year 6 Season 3's Master Mission. I had fun with this. It's definitely not as neat or special as last season's, in my opinion. I hope in future seasons they turn back towards doing more bespoke encounters and mechanics. I think that makes it more memorable. The challenge of Master is certainly still enjoyable, and the hunters this time were a fun surprise. But yeah, just a little bit less special overall. That said, that is your guide. I hope it helped out. If you have any thoughts, questions about what we went over, feel free to leave that down below. Also, if you are somebody who has already completed Master and you have advice that I did not give in this video that you think would help people complete it, certainly feel free to leave that as well. But that is just about going to do it for me today, everybody. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. RogueGold. Ow.